All right, we are recording. And I'm here with Mattú Boyle from Highlander Assault. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being on.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So first off, before we get into anything, I want you to plug your upcoming race so that people know what it is, where it is, when it is, etc. So go ahead.
June 8th, 2024, Highlander Assault Siege. This is a new setup that we had. We would normally just have our Highlander event in the morning time, and then we would have Dark Ages a couple of months later. Now we're combining the two to make it a whole day, something similar to like, these Highlander events that maybe you've come across, and you have the whole day where you have Highland Games in particular. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to combine the two. A lot of people love our Dark Ages and obviously our event. So we're trying something new this year. We like to freshen it up, I think it's important. So June 8th, 2024 is our Siege. It's a combination of past events. Let's see, we've got a King Arthur Challenge, which is a long distance. We've got our 8 mile and our 4 mile, 25 obstacles on the 4 mile, 32 obstacles on the 8 mile. And then we have a new event because we're trying to really incorporate younger people to get into this sport. So a lot of the times we like to listen to feedback. And one of the big things that we found was that parents were like, well, I wanted to go to the race, but my kids, I can't. And my parents can't look after them. I can't get a babysitter. So we try to marry the two. And now we've got our event where it's a family frenzy. It's a 2 mile race with obstacles. They're adapted obstacles. So we're going to have that all in one day. You can buy into the whole event, which we would encourage that because it's a money saver. Or you can just, you can buy into the one event, you can buy into the family frenzy, or you can just come along and spectate, which is free, of course. And yeah, I'm not very good at plugging or selling myself. I need to get better at that, but that's
great.
That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, you gave all the details. So actually, I didn't know about the change with the Dark Ages being on the same day this time, because in previous research last year, I looked at it and like 2 separate events. I did not know they were on the same day now. So that's cool. So you got 3 events in one day.
Correct. Yeah, we're going to have our main race in the morning, plenty of entertainment and stalls out, and food and merchandise and our sponsors and all kinds of stuff. And then you'll have a rest in between where we'll have plenty of activities. Again, it's kind of going to be like the Highland Games. We have caber tosses. You're going to have stone throws, tug of war, music in the background. We're going to have different events and games. Nice. And then that'll bring us on nicely into the evening event with, we got camping and stuff for that. And there's hotels nearby. So if people need to dip out and go back and freshen up and come back. That's the whole deal. It's just going to be an all-day event instead of just coming for a few hours and all right, that was nice, see you next year. We want to kind of make a whole fun day out of it.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. Actually, the events in the middle almost sound like a race in and of themselves. That would be a ton of fun.
Right.
Okay, so can you talk a little bit about the history of Highlander Assault, like how it started, like how many years you've been running, all that type of thing?
This started in 2017 with a couple of lads, police officers, law enforcement and veterans, 2017. In fact, I believe it was with Abominable Snow Race. I'm sure you're familiar. Another great race around here. And then the guys, not everybody's a big fan of the Arctic weather up here in Chicago all the time. So they said, would it be nice to get an event that we have? It's in a bit of a warmer season. So Big Mike, he's one of our owners. He used to always run in the kilt. Chad Rife he's got Scottish descent. So they kind of just wanted to do something different, and that's how Highlander was born. That was 2017. So then I came along a couple of years later. I ran my first race, I think it was 2018 or 19 season, and I started being an ambassador for the guys. I really loved what they had going on. I really was a big fan, and how they got on well with other races, and not just promoted themselves. They went out and attended other races and promoted everybody else. And I kind of dig camaraderie, and I like the local stuff. So I was asked then to be an owner in the last couple of years there. I've been an owner, and we created a team as well. I created a team just over a year now, Team Highlander Assault, where we go out to different events and, you know, let people see the logo, let people know about the event, spend our money at other events, bump up numbers if we can. I think we're up to about 50 in our team now, maybe 60.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
we got people from Arizona, Minnesota, Colorado, all around the Midwest, a couple in Ireland as well, believe it or not.
Wow.
And yeah, so that's the history of our race, and we just, you know, we try to keep the Scottish theme alive as much as we can, and not one of us speak with a Scottish accent. As Irish is only as close as you can get, you know, this Irish accent. But yeah, it's just something fun, and we love doing it every year, and we love bringing something to people that they wouldn't have before.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a little bit about the ownership and stuff. How big is the ownership / staff for the event?
All right, so we have, that's a good question, because I like to take notes. So anyway, we've got Chad, who's the director of operations. Lloyd is our safety director. Big Mike then is the race director, and then we have Trish, who's the volunteer coordinator. I'm the entertainment director, and, you know, I try to work on PR and things like that. That's not even mentioning all the wonderful volunteers that we are able to get, you know, that are able to bring in volunteers, we're able to bring in sponsors and things like that. So we have the main core of 5 people. And then, like I said, we've got our a huge team. We've got our Mike Omans, who does a lot of our obstacle building and maintenance. And we've got a couple other people that come across and help us with obstacles and things like that. We did have Race Ready, who you had on here before. Great bunch of guys. Yeah. They worked with us for a while, and then they now they have Midwest OCR. And, you know, they're focusing on that, and good luck to them. I'm looking forward to that one, in fact. So our team varies, but that's the main core of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like a solid team.
Solid team.
I've noticed in just, you know, this is only the 4th interview, I think, right now, but I've researched an enormous amount, like 100 races. So I've noticed the team size varies drastically, even though like between events that are of similar size. So I'm always interested to ask that question and see like how big the team is running the event. Cool. So you mentioned when you were plugging at the start that the 6-mile course has 23-ish obstacles. Is that correct?
4 mile has 25.
25. Okay.
8 mile has 32. Yes.
Okay. Can you talk about some of the obstacles as far as do you have some that are like for beginners, some that are more advanced, and then any signature obstacles or unique obstacles you have?
I'll go with the signature one first, which is Tilt to Kilt, and we actually won the OCR Buddy Obstacle of the Year.
Yep, I saw that, and someone mentioned that recently too. But yes,
that's a difficult one, and that's right at the end, so everybody's watching you, so you're not allowed to fail, you know.
Okay.
So then we got the Gauntlet, and Gauntlet is one of those technical one, works on the grip strength in particular. We have some new ones. We have this launch where, you know, it's almost like a bow and arrow, but we wanted to change it around. It's like a slingshot. And it's this castle. Again, we're going for the Highland idea. So you have a slingshot and you have 3 chances to get hit the target. So that's a fun one, and the kids in particular love that one. We got Caber. The Caber carry is our big one. Like, a lot of people love that, and obviously the Atlas Stone. So yeah, we've got your water obstacles. There's plenty of those out there too. We've the canvas, we've the climbing obstacles, we've got ropes, everything that you'll get. But our main one is our Tilt to Kilt, and we're quite proud of that. And we're trying to work on a couple more. We have a couple of zip line ideas coming in this year, and a few more ideas for water obstacles. Yeah.
Zip line into water?
Zip line into water. Yeah.
Sweet.
So we're working on it. We're trying our best here.
One of the obstacles I saw on your website was there's like a long bow, obviously not a pointed arrow, but with like a ball on the end. Are you still doing that one, or was that like just one that phased in and out?
No, we most certainly will be doing that. We do enjoy that one a lot. Sometimes we'll put old King George, King of England, and you have to aim at him with the bow and arrow.
Nice.
So that's going to be there this year. That's another favorite of mine. I suppose it's kind of like the Spartan. They have the
spear throw.
Spear throw. So everybody's got something going on. I was at Mythic there a couple of weeks back, and they had a spear where you had to toss it up and it had to land down into the circle in the ground, which I think was a nice take on it, you know. So everybody tries to have their little twists, don't they?
Nice. Yeah. So growing up, Luke and I, it wasn't like that small a town. It was a pretty small town, pretty rural setting, but there's 5 of us boys who grew up together. So we would like pretend we were fighting wars all the time and stuff with spears and swords, and like we had bow and arrows that we'd make bow and arrows and stuff. So like anytime there's a spear or like bow and arrow shooting, knife throwing, I like throwing knives now. My wife always buys me like new knives and axes for throwing. So anytime I see that in a race, I'm like, yes, that's one I can like do and it's fun to do. So
well, hopefully you can make it up. Hopefully you can make it up to our event. And if you do, and any of your followers do, we have a discount code for you guys. If that's something you are interested in, I can give that towards at the end, you know. Okay. Yeah, by all means, we'd love to have you guys up, and you can have as many goes as you want on the bow and arrow and everything. Take one home with you.
There was a carry. You mentioned a specific type of carry a minute ago. I don't remember the name because it's unique. Do you remember what it was?
We have a different carry now where it's like a big dummy and it's quite heavy. I think I can't remember the exact weight of it. Okay. And you have to haul that up over your shoulder. Sorry, you're talking about the caber carry, so that's going to be the large stick, yeah. Log, I should say.
Vertical, right?
To carry it vertical. A lot of people try and carry it over their shoulders, but you know, we try to keep it similar to the Highland Games where they hold it and they toss it forward. So you're going to hold it straight up and do a bit of a trail and back with that caber. Yeah, and the other one is a carry where you have to carry like a man carry or a woman carry, and and then you have to go over these balance beams with that. Quite difficult. We brought it out last year. Mixed feedback. Mostly, hey, that was very difficult. But we like difficult. That's what we try to do at our race, you know.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah.
So you've already mentioned that there will be water. Can you talk about the terrain for the race? Otherwise, people here Midwest, I think they think it's going to be pretty flat. What type of terrain is it?
We're fortunate. We have hundreds and hundreds of acres up here in McHenry, Illinois. So we're just going to be about, I think it's 35, 40 minutes from O'Hare, from Chicago, Milwaukee. It's about the same. So very easy to get to. But the terrain that we have, we've got a lovely mixture of forest trails, wooded trails, I should say, and flat ground, obviously being in the Midwest here. So yeah, and we're blessed too that we have plenty of water there on site, you know. So you're going to have a bit of a mixture, and that's a wonderful thing that I really enjoyed about Highlander when I first started. I thought the same. I thought we're going to be running through a cornfield or something, and that's it. A couple of rigs here and there. Not at all. Not at all. Some people love certain areas more than others in our course. I like the wooded areas particularly. It brings me back home to Ireland, you know, and running through the forest. But yeah, we got a lovely mixture.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Is the course a permanent course, and like one of you or a group of you own the property, or is this property you're renting and then having to put the course up every year?
That's a good question. So we're fortunate we knew the guy that owns it, and his name's Doc, wonderful guy. We're able to keep up a lot of our obstacles throughout the year.
Nice.
But obviously with certain other ones, we can't. But we have all our stuff stored on site. We're able to go up and access it at any time. A lot of times we like to go up and just meet up and, hey, would this be a good idea for this here? And we kind of plan things out. So yes, we do rent it out. But we're very fortunate in that we have kind of the free run of it all, you know.
That's awesome. Yeah, that saves. That's something that okay, the last 2 interviews I've done, they've had permanent courses, and obviously that saves an enormous amount of money in transportation. And even if you're renting the land, if you're storing it on site, still you're saving an enormous amount of money not having to transport things and figure out logistics and everything. So that's awesome. It's
logistically, you're right. Logistically speaking, it really does help us for sure.
Fantastic. All right, festival area. medals, t-shirts, and then you mentioned it before we started recording, but prizes, because you have unique prizes. Can you talk about all those different aspects?
There's one right there. People have the opportunity to win wonderful swords. This is a legitimate sword. This will hurt you.
Nice.
But our festival area, we call it the village. We've got a lot of tents out there. We have vendors. We have we're gonna have a DJ this year. This is a new guy that we brought in. He's been a DJ for 20, 30 years. So we're gonna have that. We're excited about that because usually it was me or somebody else, and I would be introducing people and then trying to do the music. And we found that, you're stretched thin.
Yeah.
So, we got to spend a bit of money, and we like investing. And again, this guy's a local fella. No idea about OCRs. And now he's like, wow, I mean, I should have got into this sooner. This is great, But the village is going to have vendors. Every racer will get a cool t-shirt and cool medals. We got wonderful medals here. Some of them glow in the dark, like the Dark Ages one here.
Nice.
Yeah, we have some really, really cool medals.
That's awesome. Wow.
There's the 26-mile race. That's the King Arthur. I mean, that blood, sweat, and tears for that one. But typically, Chad does a great job of designing, right? Yeah, with obstacles. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it. Marathon with obstacles. Love it.
Oh, I did it twice, and I'll never do it again. But at least I can say I did it, right?
Yeah.
But everybody gets a medal. Everybody gets a T-shirt. Everybody gets their free photos. The village area is one of my favorites. We have a huge, big fire pit. We start the ceremony with myself and the other owners coming out, led by a bagpiper. Yeah, it's wonderful. And what we always do too is every heat we'll have the bagpiper playing and leads the heat out. As they're running, he'll walk for a little bit of it and play them out. So that's a bit of a hair raiser for me in particular, but for a lot of people,
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I'm like 0% Irish or Scottish, but I love the bagpipes. And my wife is like a music major. She plays like a million different instruments. And several years ago, she got me the chanter, which is the pipe piece that fits to a set of bagpipes to learn on. I haven't learned it yet, ashamedly, but I love the bagpipes. So that would be amazing. Well,
you should. I took up the bagpipes last year with my daughter, and we've been playing. We've been playing now for about a year and a half. So I know what you're talking about with the chanter. But all I would say to you is just do it. Just go onto YouTube. There's people out there to teach you a couple of chords and whatever, a couple of notes, I should say, and away you go. Just it's.
I know I should.
The neighbors might not like you, but it's good.
I don't care. That'll be all right. They probably hate me anyway. I throw knives in the backyard and
shooting off guns and stuff.
Yeah. So you mentioned that the sword is a prize. Is that the prize this year for first place, or was that last year and there's a new one this year?
Well, I'm going to leave that up to a little bit of mystery.
Okay, cool.
We always have a nice few prizes for everybody. We actually have daggers as well for second and third prizes. Good size dagger. So there's always good quality prize, and it's a good motivator for people to really push themselves on our course. And it's a very challenging course, but the prizes reflect that. A lot of people had thought, that, Highlander Assault's like a family run or something. Definitely isn't. We have a very, very challenging course this year, most years, every year, I should say. And it's almost too challenging sometimes, and that's why we brought the kid frenzy thing in, or the family frenzy, I should say. But after the 4 miles, a lot of people are kind of gassed, So this is one that's going to challenge you, and like I said, as a result, you'll earn your medal for sure, and the medals are always pretty cool.
Nice. For the kids race, how many obstacles are you planning on having for that 2-mile stretch?
The 2-mile stretch, good question. That one is, I believe it's 20. Let me just see. Yeah, it's going to be 20 obstacles in total for the kids. Yep.
And you said they're running it with parents, or can they run it by themselves, or a combination?
Oh, excuse me, 12 obstacles.
Okay.
And what was your question? I'm sorry.
Yes. Are the kids running it with their parents by themselves, or with either or?
We would encourage them to run it with their parents, or walk it with their parents, whatever. Obviously 12, insurance and things like that. We would rather the kids be supervised. So I think it's 12 or 13 years and up. they can run the course on their own, the 4 mile or the 8 mile. My daughter does the 8 mile and sometimes the 12 if she's feeling that way inclined. She's 12. But yeah, the kids race is going to be with, you know, parents and kids or whatever. So 12 obstacles.
And this is the first year for the kids race.
This is the first year, yeah. And we have some great people. I should mention Scott Mandrala as well. Scott's another one of our ambassadors, and he's going to be leading the charge for the obstacles in this one. And a lot of them are going to be very similar to the obstacles we're doing on the bigger course, but obviously scaled down. So you're still going to have a caber, but it's going to be a little mini caber, things like that, you know. So yeah.
Are they shooting a bow?
I think they are, and they'll also be using the slingshot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, kids will love that. I would love that.
So.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Can you talk a little bit about pricing for the different distances? I know pricing varies throughout the year. You know, it starts low, gets higher as races come, traditional race pricing. But can you give like kind of averages for each distance and event?
Yes, I do have that. Again, that's Chad's corner, but Highlander, like we try to be reasonable. Obviously, we're doing our best. We don't. You get a lot of the times where you get these races and you have to take a mortgage out almost to run these or whatever. But throughout the year, obviously we have promo codes throughout the year and they're cheaper. So we encourage people to buy into them sooner rather than later. But the average cost is about $75. We also have a haunted Highlander race, which is going to be, I believe it's around October. Obviously, it's going to be a Halloween time, where it's going to be a nighttime trail run with a couple of obstacles. That's a new one that a lot of people don't know about. But the prices for they're about $50 to $75. You can buy the whole package. HighlanderAssault.com. You have all the information there. I'm just looking at it right now as we speak. You can sign up for the 4 mile run. You can sign up for the family frenzy on your own, you know, just if you want to just do that one. But it goes anywhere from $70 to $85 for that. And you can buy the dark ages, like I say. So if you want to buy them individually, it's obviously going to cost you more if you buy them individually. So we do encourage people to buy them, you know, do your main race and then do the dark ages that night, you know. So anywhere between 55 right up to 85, $90. We try to keep it as low as we can. Yeah.
So to me, I've said this in all of the interviews so far, like that's a great price for an event, especially since you have a 4 and 8 mile. 8 miles longer than a Spartan Super. It's longer than a traditional Savage race.
Right.
And you still have as many obstacles and creative obstacles, fun terrain, great prizes. Different considerations, different events, you know, like the big ones have way more cost considerations, so it drives the price up for them.
Sure.
But for people who want to do obstacle course racing, but they're looking at the Savages and Spartans and Tough Mudders and clicking like add the ticket and it's $180 for one entry.
Right.
These events are so good because you can get a couple can go for the same price as one person at another event, where you can sign up for both events in the day and have 2 experiences night and day and pay the same price you would have for doing one event somewhere else. So I'm trying to emphasize that on all of these interviews, like the price is so much nicer at these local OCRs.
I'm glad you see that. I see that too. And look, like you mentioned with your brothers growing up, you know, you have that old fundamental, just the basic obstacles that we did, right? There was nothing fancy and flash, right? We like to have those old school obstacles, you know, the weighted Atlas balls and the tire flips and things like that. And we don't like to charge an arm and a leg for these things. We obviously have to, you know, we have to do okay. These things cost money, and we have to set things up. I get it. You know, there's cost. We're not here for the money. A lot of these people aren't. I don't think they are. We're here to create something that will make people get into something like this. We love this sport. We really do. We run all the races. We go to all the local races, Tough Mudders included. Spartan. I was over at I did a Spartan in Montana there with my buddy last. I did the ultra. So nice. I do travel around. I love to go. But you're right. It does start hitting the pocket. it really hits the pocketbook. But and we've heard that from everybody. So what do? You know, we try to listen as best we can.
Yep.
We don't have any hidden fees or anything like that. And yeah, we're just going to do that for as long as we possibly can.
It's the way to go.
It is.
I'm all about it. Yeah. Hopefully it can stay that way for a long time, because obstacle, you know, for some, I raced competitive, well, still do race competitively, but I'm also enjoying just the fun aspect of it. And
Right.
so seeing the different events, getting to experience different terrain, different locations, different people, different obstacles, just different environments, settings is awesome. So as long as they can stay affordable, I think that's what everyone else is looking for too. A really fun experience that they can actually afford to go and attend and do. Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. Next question. This is a hard one. This is like, so how do you guys handle, to the best of your knowledge, if this isn't your department, marketing? Because that's a big reason, like that's a significant amount of the expense for especially the big races, Spartan, Tough Mudder, Savage, all of them. Marketing is massive, but also just as essential for the small races.
Mm-hmm.
If people don't know about the event, they don't come to the event. And if they don't come to the event dies. Right. So how are you guys handling that?
Good question. I can only say what so we all the team realize the importance of that, whether it's outside of their jurisdiction, so to speak, you know. But we all like to go and have that personal approach and reach out to local businesses that may not even know that we exist or what the heck we are. Yeah. So there's that. We personally knock to the door. Hey, you know, we're running this event. Are you interested in marketing whatever you have? If we think it's in line with, or there's a relationship there with the athletic world, let's say, the sporting world. Obviously, a huge one is Instagram and Facebook. I started Team Highlander actually for a couple of reasons. The main one was to bring our brand out there and to encourage fitness and to have a lot of people, because sometimes people don't want to join these races. They're kind of intimidated by them. So I felt if we had this sort of community of people coming together of all ages and of all abilities, we could take it on and be strong together, you know. And that's kind of helped, because then when people see this team coming in deep with, you know, Highlander logos, they're like, hey, what is that? What's that about, you know? So that's kind of helped our marketing a little bit. We have a wonderful sponsor, many sponsors, but one of them is UltiFit. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. Maybe you are.
Never heard of them.
So they're like a ninja warrior place. They're dotted all around the Midwest. So they're one of our sponsors, indoor obstacle course racing training.
Nice.
And really, really helpful, wonderful people. You should check them out, ultifit.com. So what we do is we have these training camps that we go to maybe once or twice a month, and we will heavily video those and blast that out. So we're using multimedia the best we can. Word of mouth. Again, I'm going to plug WarX because they plugged us, but going to the different wonderful events like that and making friends, true friends, and going back every year and looking forward to it, that always helps too, because if people are like, hey, have you heard about this? Have you heard about that? So word of mouth still seems to be a very strong one to answer your question, but you can't ignore the social media, right?
Yep. Yeah. In a perfect world, the marrying of those two strategies is the best.
Yeah.
People are far more likely to do something if it's been recommended or told to them by someone they know and trust. And then obviously there's people out there who are looking for races, and when it pops up in their social media feed, they're like, oh, perfect, that's what I wanted. So
yeah.
You have to get the best of both worlds.
Agreed.
All right. I've asked this of every race also. To you, in your opinion, what is the most challenging aspect of hosting an obstacle course race?
That is a good question. I'm fairly fresh at this, but I would say there's a lot of things. Logistics, obviously. We worry a lot about getting enough racers in, and finance is obviously a big one. You know, do you have enough racers signed up early? And in turn, then, you know, you have to buy certain things. But just the organizing of it all, it just takes a lot of time. A lot of people think these things are just thrown up overnight. This is months and months of planning,
Yeah.
meeting up with the guys, getting up early at 6 or 7 a.m. on a Saturday or whatever on your weekend off. So there's a lot of challenges, but it doesn't boil down to one. And again, worrying about are people going to hurt themselves? Are people going to enjoy the races? Is this going to be challenging enough? Is it too challenging? You know, there's all these things that go on in your head, you know. And then another big one, I think, with this year is we've got a fresh idea. So anything that's a fresh idea, you worry, right?
Yeah.
You're like, well,
will it work?
Sometimes people don't like the unknown. They're like, no, why did they change it? I shouldn't have changed it. I like the way it was. Whereas the way we think, the way we think about it is, well, we're trying to shake it up a little bit. You know, everybody likes variety is the spice of life, right?
Yeah.
So, look, we're in the business of obstacles. So we just see the organizing of this event as of an obstacle in itself, and we overcome it, if that makes sense. And yeah, we have financial obstacles. Yes, we've got marketing obstacles, logistics. But I think if we have that core team and everybody's on the same page, you know, you can make anything work. Communication, and it strengthens us. So yeah, it's challenging, but there's nothing that really shouts out. We need numbers. We need people to sign up. Obviously, you know, you're not going to have an event with 50 people. I mean, you will, but how good is it going to be? I guess so. That's my main concern. You know, getting people to sign up. So people want to do something for a local OCR and they want to help out. You know, don't be shy when it comes to clicking the button or hey, do you want to do this? Let's check this out. Or, you know, I flew out to Arizona there recently with a friend of mine, and I was like, fly out to Arizona. I've never ran the desert. Do I want to do that? Best thing I ever did.
What race was that for?
Horseshoe Bend.
Nice. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
See, I was sad because I didn't get to like reach out to them before their events, but hopefully I can just interview them later this year for next year.
Yeah, you really should.
A unique like setting for a race.
Oh my God, on Native American grounds. Again, I was on the fence about it, and then I just my friend Danny O'Shea called me and he said, another Irish guy, hey, let's go. And I was like, you know what? And I clicked the button, and it was the best thing I ever did because I'd never ran the desert or that high altitude before. Different environment. You talked about that before. It's so nice running in different environments, and I completely agree with you. But if I hadn't have just said, you know what, let me click the button and give that guy a few dollars, those guys a few dollars, because that goes to a good cause. No regrets. So I guess the big thing for me is, you know, if anybody's on the fence about stuff, not just our event, anything, you know, the War X's, Abominable, what else we got? We got Frontline coming up, Midwest OCR. Look into them, you know, they're great races, and if you're 60-40, press the button, do it. You know.
Agreed. Yep. A lot of people do that with more expensive races and more expensive events that are further away and everything. So yeah, I agreed. They should just press the button and go.
But think about it, with that plane ticket and the low prices that we offer, I mean, you're probably going to spend probably the same or maybe less, who knows, for a good solid weekend, you know, that you'd be like, whoa, I'm glad I did that. That was different. You know.
Yeah.
And the difference with us is you're going to get to meet the owners running around. We're all wearing our kilts.
Nice.
You know, perfect. And we run the courses in our kilts, and a lot of our team do as well. You're going to get to meet us, and that's the personal touch, which is very important in these races. You know, you get to meet the Bill Wolfs and the Dana and Aaron, and you get to meet Jake and all the team. You know.
Yep. So the community is a massive part of it. Like actually knowing the people, not just the racers, but also the people who run the event. Like that matters. And I think pretty much to most people. I think it's awesome. And I'm not the most social person in the world. So if I think it's cool, it's probably something most people like.
Well, good for you. If you're not the most social person and you're doing these events, you know what I mean? That's a wonderful thing, because I'm the same. I don't like too much doing all the marketing stuff, but the more I've started doing it, the more I've started meeting great people and people that are interested in this. And if we push ourselves, we will get the fruits of our labor, I guess.
Yeah, it's true.
you know.
Speaking of which, that reminded me, you have an amazing quote on your website.
What's
All
that
men
one?
die, but not all men really live.
Oh yeah.
It's fantastic, because I was on there like looking up things earlier, and I saw that and I was like, yes, quote from Braveheart. It's beautiful.
Braveheart, yeah.
Yeah. Seen the movie like a dozen times.
Oh,
So.
me too, man. Stephen, the Irish guy.
And the sword in the background looks like it's modeled after that one too. So
Yeah, definitely. All right, from the very last scene, right? Yeah.
Yep. Do you guys offer prize money, or is the prize the swords? And if it is, that's awesome. Because
We do offer prize money, in fact. Again,
wait,
yeah,
hold on, money and swords.
we do offer prize money.
What?
Again, that's something that I'm not 100% sure the amount, but yes, there is prize money for male and female top finishers and stuff. So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
Do you know if it's just the top excuse me, first place male female, or is it the top three?
great question. I think it's the top male and top female. I could be wrong, and we can always add it, you know.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
But I do know there's prize money.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Nice. Wow. Prize money and weapons.
Right. Yeah. And you love your weapons.
I
saw you talking to Jake about shooting off the ARs and stuff. You
Yeah.
know? So we haven't got ARs, but we got it. We're coming behind. You know, we got swords and bows and arrows. And
if Warex gave away like had a prize of a rifle at the end, I would drive up there through the night to do that event.
Me too. I might even consider leaving Team Highlander, you know, and be like, hey, I'm going to Warex.
No, swords and daggers are awesome. Also, didn't mention it, but growing up, there was a phase there where the three youngest of us, like loved the medieval stuff, and our friends too. So we all ended up getting a bunch of swords and daggers and like dirks and everything. Is wow. I still have a closet full of them because my brothers didn't want them anymore. So armed to the teeth.
A lot of people are interested in that, and I was thinking like, you know, we would have for the kids especially, you know, something on site where we had the little daggers or, you know, the plastic swords or something. You mentioned the sword fight when you're growing up and the different little games that you played. Fundamentally, this is all about us, you know, trying to get back to our youth, I suppose, and also to continue our fitness, you know, to keep us strong, but also to be young at heart and young in mind. So that's something that we're trying to roll out this year too. So keep an eye out for that for the kids, the kiddies.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Any more things that we have not mentioned about Highlander Assault that you want people to know?
Yes.
We've covered a lot, but go on.
We have a couple. Yeah, I do tend to go on. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. These things I think we've gone to like an hour 40 on one of these. So
are we really? Okay.
Pretty sure.
Oh, challenge accepted. Strap in, my friend.
All right, I'm ready.
So we got a charity here. We have two charities this year, in fact. The Lake and the Hills Police Cadets. So young men and women between the ages of 14 to 20, trying to aspire to, you know, to obviously be police officers. So that was the first one. And the second charity is called Hope for Warriors. This charity makes care packages and offers support for children who were recently diagnosed with cancer. The founder of this, I haven't met the lady yet, but I'm familiar, obviously, with the charity. This person grew up and knows all the most of the owners. Unfortunately, she lost her child to cancer and wants to give back. So we're all about that. So they'll be out on course. If anybody wants to come along and donate, please do. A good friend of mine, his name's George Trithart. George is a retired U.S. Air Force.
Okay.
And George was out last year. Now he's a wonderful carpenter. He makes a lot of I don't have it here, but he makes a lot of medal holders. You know, obviously we have a lot of these medals. So him and I are good friends, and all the money he got for that, he donated to the Veterans Closet in North Chicago, which is a charity for obviously veterans as they get older and they need money for all different types of care and whatever. So we were able to raise, I think it was George raised about $200 or $300 that day. So, but our main charities this year will be the two that I mentioned, Lake in the Hills Police Cadets and the Hope for Warriors. So if you see those guys out, say hello. We have food, like I said, on site. We have spectators can come along, you know, join in, have a look around, check it out. It's going to be a fun day. But I think we literally covered everything, you know. It's just going to be, it's going to be a tough course. Yeah, it's going to be a tough course. I think there was messages out there, or maybe some people had thought, you know, oh, Highlander, it seemed to be like a family event or whatever. We pride ourselves on being challenging, you know, and as a result, we have those different races and different sections and all the rest of it. And we pride ourselves, I should say, on being kind of forward thinking and trying to refresh things up. And if it doesn't work, you know, what do? Well, we go back to what we did. But God loves a trier, right? And as long as we give it an effort and give it a shot. So, you know, come out, join us. And the final thing is, if you guys want to come out, we have TURIO25, TURIO 25, for a 25% discount. So if you put that in at the discount
generous.
Code at the end,
that is a very generous discount.
So by all means, we'd love to have anybody, if you're considering or you're thinking about it. And if you're unsure, have a look at the website, highlanderassault.com. And if you want to join our team, Team Highlander, we have a Facebook page. It's called teamhighlanderassault.com. I think I invited you and your brother earlier.
Yeah, I saw that today and I accepted it. Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, and what we do in that is we have, like I said, people from all over that are saying, hey, there's an event here at this time and this date. Have anybody checked out this one? So it's just a nice melting pot of everybody, and you know, and then we turn up and we do our events and we have fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So that discount code was TRIO25.
TRIO25.
Fantastic. That's very generous. Thank you.
No, you're more than welcome. And thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. I'm hoping to get way more races on here. It's just time constraints, and yeah, it's all good. You know,
and go check out WarX. You have to check out WarX. This is my second favorite event, and I love Abominable. I love Frontline, and Midwest I haven't tried yet. But WarX, you got to go down to those boys. They are on a different plane. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Are you doing Midwest?
Yes, I am indeed.
Nice.
Of course. Yeah, we'll be there. We'll have our tent. In fact, I think Race Ready will be at our event too. They'll have a tent.
Awesome.
So if anyone's any questions about the Midwest OCR race, go check them out. They'll be with us too, you know. Good friends of ours.
That's another thing, not to drag anything out, but that's another thing I love is not just the individual community in the sport, but also the different races supporting each other by plugging each other. Again, I'm not knocking the big brands when I say things. It's just a reality. It's just the facts of the matter. The big brands don't plug little brands or small local events. The local events do plug each other because they realize it's not about competing with each other. You can all thrive, all survive, and give different experiences to different people, or even the same people who go to multiple events. So yeah, it's awesome. It's great community.
And sometimes I do find that these bigger race events, you know, and whenever we put out our race dates and stuff, whether it's coincidence or not, they seem to be around the same weekend or the same weekend, you know, and I don't know. I mean, that's, you know, I could be going off down a rabbit hole here, but a lot of the time, you know, if you knock out your competition, because, you know, I think they do see the smaller OCRs doing well and people keep going back to them. Whereas, you know, I was at a Spartan. I don't know if I would go back to one for, and I hate to, and I don't want to drop, it's not me, you know, but I'm just saying, I just can't afford to be spending $200-300, the guts of $300.
Yeah.
I'd rather spend that in 3 races.
Yes.
So,
yeah. Yep. I still do them. I still like Spartan races. Like there's one local here that I do every year. And I think that's the only Spartan I'm doing this year. Otherwise it's local, a Savage, and yeah. Yeah, well, I still do them because I still like them. And honestly, they got me into the sport initially. So I'll forever be grateful for that, at least. But yeah, they are expensive.
I'd like to do West Virginia, Spartan, West Virginia, and I've signed up for Spartan. I think it's Dallas, but nice. So I'm the same as you. I mean, I still agree that they are an integral part of our sport. There's no doubt about it. You can't be ignored. But yes, you're right.
West Virginia is a wonderful course.
Okay.
Have you done it?
No, but I'm going to do it.
Oh, it's good. It's a good course.
I did the Gauley River and the New River Gorge on you call it the whitewater rafting. Fell in love with West Virginia, and I was like, I'm coming back here. So then I found out they had a Spartan. Boom. Vacation.
Unless they've drastically changed the course, which they typically don't, they just change the order. The terrain is solid. You're going to have some fun, steep climbs, bushwhacking. Yeah, it's a good race. Cool. All right. Anything else?
No, I think we covered everything. Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for being on. I appreciate it.
Good luck to you and your channel, and thank you for everything you do. You know, it's good to know that there's people out there that are pushing our sport and interested. So thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I will talk to you later.